Hi guys, we're going to do a little bit of our science review of all the things that we've already learned so far. First, who thinks they remember this word? When our apple turned brown, it's called oxidation. Oxidation. Remember, we cut the apples up and we put them in different things to see if it would help keep them from brown. Here is a sample journal. Remember, we put them in the blue bowls. And then some of them turned brown and some of them didn't. We also learned this word. This word is absorb. When it takes it in or it soaks it up. We use sponges. Other things soak things up too. Here is a journal drawing for that. We have the yellow sponge and the blue water. This one is when the water goes up into the air, that's called evaporation. When the water goes into the air, here is a sample of the water going up, evaporation, to the sun. We did it in our classroom with the pot, and the sun was our skillet that heated it up, and all of the water disappeared in the classroom. And this one is our ramp, which is also called an inclined plane. Inclined plane, ramps and slides, things that help things go up and down. Our sample journal for that was we had a ramp and we rolled different things down. We rolled marbles. Remember, we even rolled a cookie. The cookie went down too. And this one is our precipitation. Remember, we put the precipitation bucket outside to catch the water. Precipitation is when the rain comes down. Here's our sample for that. We had our bucket outside to try to catch rain. Other precipitation was rain. There was sleet, or snow, or even hail we could catch in our bucket. And then next we have living and non-living. Living and non-living, things that are living. Does it eat? Does it breathe? Does it grow? And does it have babies? Those are things to know if something is living and non-living. And we drew pictures in our journals. Here in this journal, we have for living, we have a tree and a turtle. And for non-living, we had a car and an ice cream and the sun. Living and non-living. Our next one is texture. Texture, the way something feels when you touch it. It could be soft or bumpy or spiky or hard, fluffy, silky, rough, smooth. And for this one, remember when we filled the different types of things in our mystery boxes? There was a red mystery box and a blue mystery box. And we touched the different stuff inside with our hands to see what it felt like. And next, we learned about clouds. Clouds are condensation. They could be puffy like a cotton ball. They can stretch over like a blanket, or they can be like feathers in the sky. And we had our song that went, clouds are condensation, clouds are condensation. The water goes up, clouds are made, clouds are condensation. And we drew pictures of the different clouds, the different kinds of clouds, like a feather, like a cotton ball, or like a blanket. This one we did was like magic. Remember, the word was dissolve. It dissolves. It disappears just like magic. And in our journals, we drew pictures. Remember, we put different things inside the jars with water, and we shook them up, and it broke down into little pieces. This one was our sprinkles. Remember, it turned the water brown? And then we had The rock just stayed exactly the same. And then we shook up salt. It disappeared. And the flour turned the water different color. And next we learned about the science tool called a balance. A balance. Things are either equal or not equal. Equal or not equal when the balance moves back and forth. And then we got to measure different things on the balance. And next we learned about how rocks are made. We learned about the different rocks. A rock can be made by the volcano, or we learned rocks are made by the different layers. And we also learned that rocks can be made from heat and pressure. Remember, we did heat and pressure. And then we drew pictures. We had a volcano, the layers, and heat and pressure pushing together. We also learned about volume. Not the volume to turn up your TV. It was the volume to measure on the inside. Remember, we took and we poured different things back and forth on the liquids. Sometimes it filled it all the way to the top, and sometimes it did not go to the top. We also learned about wind is weather. Wind is weather. We learned about the tools we use for weather. You can't see weather, but you can feel it on your face or in your hands, right? We can see when the wind blows, the windsock or the trees. And remember, these things we learned make energy. Those were wind energy. And for our experiment, remember, we tied all those things to the fence to see if the wind would blow it. And the paper towel and the Kleenex and the paper blew. But the marker did not. And the block did not. They stayed down. We also learned, our last thing we learned was all about magnets. Magnets, remember, the words that we learned for magnets, we learned that a magnet is made of iron. There's also a special invisible force that moves it around. And also, when the magnets touch together, that's attract. And when they can't touch and they push apart, that's called repel. And remember, this is a picture of how we move the magnet underneath the table, all around. I hope you guys had fun reviewing our science. Watch this video over and over and over again until you can remember to learn all those words. And as soon as you guys get back, we'll do more science stuff together.